Hi, I'm Amy Federighi, and today we are at the Shawnee Water Treatment Plant. One issue concerning our city is water. So we talked to some of the city employees about what is going on and what will be done.
Right now we just have a lot of infrastructural needs here in Shawnee, probably the biggest of which is the 30-inch raw water line coming from Twin Lakes to the water treatment plant. Right now our existing line is 50 years old. If something were to happen to it, we would be in a lot of trouble. We'd basically be trucking water in. So the 30-inch line would allow us a backup system.
These are our high service pumps. After the water is treated, we use these pumps to pump the water to town. The whole system itself has about 250,000 hours, and we've pumped about 38 billion gallons of water through this system. We've experienced quite a few problems, especially with the controls. They were obsolete when they were installed. Definitely due for replacement.
You know, Shawnee Twin Lakes were built in the 40s and 60s of the 20th century, and now we have a situation where a lot of those lines are getting old. We have a 30-inch water line that comes from Shawnee Twin Lakes up to our water treatment plant, and there's only one line. So if something happens to that line, either across the North Canadian River or in some other situation between there and the water treatment plant, we don't have any water for the city. We have several facilities that really need to be dealt with. That one is not one that necessarily improves quality or quantity, it just improves reliability so that we don't have a situation like that happen. Moving on down the line, we actually want to ensure that our city water supply is supplanted by an endless supply of water, or theoretically an endless supply of water, through the Atoka water line that the city participated in years ago. However, that line that we need to continue to improve actually stops several miles from where our water line comes into the city and actually drains into a dry creek bed and then into the city. Our next major capital improvement plan beyond that 30-inch water line is to tie in that Atoka line to our actual incoming raw water line directly, and that's about a $5 million project. But that will ensure that we don't have any potential shortages of water by being able to buy that raw water through the Atoka line.
Well, sooner or later, if you choose not to fix it, then I will be at a commission meeting saying we have an emergency, and then we'll have to fix it anyway. So it's best to plan ahead, because sooner or later something's going to happen, something's going to break, something's going to break down, and then it'll be more of a crisis type thing rather than a planning type thing. Nobody wants their water bills to go up. Nobody wants any bill to go up. But I would a whole lot rather be trying to explain to somebody why their water bill is going up as to why they don't have any water. Because if the line breaks in the river, we don't have any water.
The reason why your water bill is going up is because we have to pay for two things.
One, the water line coming into the plant, and two, the pumps at the treatment center. But we cannot qualify for a loan to pay for these projects with our base prices at the rate they are now.
The city manager, Brian McDougall, talks more on the story.
The biggest part that I'd like to emphasize to the customer is the rate structure that the staff is proposing to the commission is paid by the customers, whether that be our large water customers or our small customers. That particular fund that the city operates is called the Shawnee Municipal Authority, and it is an enterprise fund. In governmental terms, that basically means it's a business that is run within the constraints of a city government. That means we are supposed to operate that particular enterprise fund in the black. So for years the city has not done a whole lot of improvements, and so we're a little behind the curve in terms of making those improvements, and so there's a total of about $55 million that we have to come up with to make the improvements that we need in order just to catch our system up with 20 years worth of improvements that need to be done. Two other things that I think are important to note are, first off, we traditionally, our larger water users have paid less the more water they used. Department of Environmental Quality and the federal government are requiring that we actually charge more. It's both environmentally more sensitive and it's just more standard these days. The other thing that's happening is we are beholden to banks for this $55 million that we need to put in, and it's based on rates. So we have to go to a bank, which in our case is called the Oklahoma Water Resource Board, OWRB for short, where we actually get low interest loans to actually make these improvements. Just like anybody that wants to get an automobile loan or a home loan or some sort of business loan, we have to have the cash flow to do so. So our base rates are also the third thing that are changing, in that our base rates are the ones that OWRB will be looking for to make sure that we have in place so that we can ensure to them that we'll be able to repay those loans.
If you have any more questions or comments, make sure to contact the City of Shawnee. This has been your City Report. I'm Amy Federighi with Shawnee CTV. Together, we're building community one season at a time.